For me, the one nice thing about the computer was the ability to take two different images and manipulate them together and put them to various, grind them up together and see what I can get. Two images, some of them overlaid, some of them here, just some of them. I was interested in code language for some reason. The thing on the bottom is my professional writing, introductory professional writing textbook. And the third one is the invitation to this presentation today, which I think everyone here has gotten. And here's just a copy right here. And I'll talk a little about this later on. And also they were told me to show some stages of our work, so I brought the stages. And I guess I really don't need to go through the stages unless people want to ask questions about them.
Why don't we just review your summarize your stages?
Okay. Okay. We had an article created about the negative critique. And my thinking about the poster was, can I make this poster into something people would keep on their wall as some kind of reference, some kind of guide, so that it's an ephemeral piece that is announcing a talk that he gave, but maybe they would use it for other purposes too. It had written specifically about, in the article, about three ecologically dangerous phases that the designer should think about in the design process. Those were choice of materials, manufacturing, packaging, the object itself, the product, transportation. So really in my thinking, I was thinking of showing this as a cycle and a lot of text talking about this, maybe with some little illustrations with it. So this shows some of these stages. Talking about one of the other ideas, well here, each one of the stages, 6 stages. Another idea was take a piece of paper, make a poster, and design it in such a way that it could be ripped into 3 pieces and put on the wall in 3 pieces that it would rip apart and still work as a poster. And I was thinking of that, the point of that was, and I haven't brought in my model of that because I just threw it away, but the point of that was to differentiate this thing from what one would see in the hallways around here. What the mechanics of that super and of course the thing had to be mailed out to these equations. And I had no access to this manuscript, so I couldn't see if there were any equations, or if these were the equations in the book. These were another introductory economics book. Although that seems to be not a problem, because every introductory economics book is going to have the same equations they might call P, B in one. They might what one book calls P might be B in another book, but that can be worked out later. So what we have here is these equations, which I spent a long time generating on PageMaker, and my son scribbles, try to incorporate him as often as possible in any of my projects. So it looks kind of like a blackboard might look, for example. And here's 2 versions of the same thing. And he showed, the guy, the publisher, showed these to the editor. He's an architect. Showed them to the editor. The editor wasn't interested in this, I guess. Like this, but not for this book. So that was, I guess I worked with the thing. It's in this book. So I didn't get.
Well, you left out about what they felt about the bottom.
Oh well, I did mention that mainly the colors weren't bright enough. The resolution was a problem, and not really the big problem. The problem was really you want more colors to jump out at you. He also preferred the type.
But that was their choice of the concepts.
This is the final one I showed. Yeah, and it's
all sorts, animal tracks and things of that sort. It's not really an absence. It's a different sort of presence. And then when you pick something like a garden, which is a war between a desert and a person, then you have to face the inclusiveness of the kind of image that you're going to need, I think, to deal with those 2 subjects together. Because in a way they're opposites, and they have to do with control and structure. So if you're always picking structure for your image, and then you're talking about absence of control. And the control that is on you is lack of personal power against something huge.
But I'm always looking for accidents. Mainly is a way to save time and effort, but I'm always looking for ways to get something that I never could imagine would happen. So maybe there's control. There must be control here, but I'm always looking for ways to let accidents happen. Particularly in this.
I mean, I find all these things, I'm an architect, you know, and those things read to me. But in terms of you being a communicator to other people, you need to have a vast array of skills, really, I think, and yeah, you can expand on.
In relation to one of the real, there are two themes that emerge for me in your work this semester. One is, of course, the very large theme that is also admittedly a long-term interest of my own, theoretically, mentally, this conjunction of the natural world as it's given, largely, and the synthetic world as it's intervened upon the natural world by our synthesizing structure. Faithfulness of our being here as a human way of communication. What we do, what we is confounding, and the whole thing is really huge, confounding, very amusing images of how these transactions seem to work. And I'm not surprised that they simply have found much of this product unmarketable for very good reasons. But that it certainly does bring up a wonderful model of how do you fit this whole world of discoveries and this larger sphere of problem with a world that needs independence to turn to. But I do sense that certainly some kind of practical end like that is a part of the ultimate requirements of looking at like this. I don't know what's going to guess.
And I see a congruency between your mental process and operations and your practical business. It's remarkable. Doing what you intend to do. Amazing places. And what I do see is a structure against one idea. It's a good being like God. What's up there is how you like things. That's fascinating. That's just tremendous. That match up. Like that. Conceptual. It's different than what you want to be, but what you want to do. So when you talk about walking, you say, like I say, like walking is thinking. You say desert, I say the desert of semiotics. You know, many game styles. You say gardens, I say the most of structure. Like minds, literary narratives, but you don't want to. You're more concerned with conceptual invention than current conventional wisdom. So someone has to keep inventing. And whatever it was that becomes, form of invention becomes a conceptual and conventional vernacular. One of our pursuits in the graduate program in design is to anticipate future forms of design. And it's a pleasure to see all these probes going out there. When I'm fully aware that you could have dealt with literary forms. I haven't done it because we can't refer to it.
Literal?
Yeah, literal in the sense that the narratives of the pictorial. You at one point sort of boring. It was so predictable that you read it backwards. You have to make it interesting. Okay. Can we see the logic? Just give us a little more time.
made it like using mark.
Shakespeare.
Yeah. It's like a sign. Yeah, it's unreadable, but yeah. So I'm going to continue work with these two guys. I almost finished with this guy. I want to combine these two guys. And the next thing is the book cover design for the VTS. This one is the original design of my ideas. I got my design, but I didn't like the background of this white, so I changed the background like this gradation. But they suggest something about the color. Like, this bar color is too cool, so I changed some color like this red, but it's too red. so I mixed this something. So now I'm working with like this color. I have to develop it something like that. So I have to finish doing some for this book. And this is another book cover for effective professional writing strategy for dangerous in cars. So I corrected this picture and after I did that picture with the sketch of this poster. First time I made it like the round and two circles, but finally
Lots of images you're used to dealing with.
so it's very fast.
Different one?
It's current very different.
You didn't say that. What people might not have understood is that Kyoon's cover was chosen by DCP. It is going to be used. And the changes she's making are the changes a freelancer would make once she's getting her $1,000 of the cover to use. All right?
See, agency,
Understand the very current type that he is working with today. You've chosen to go back to what you said is no longer the format for making books.
Yeah.
Could you just talk a little bit about why you've chosen to mix the two? Is it personal? Does this person design working with old styles and new styles? Or?
Gentry. Yeah, but his type shape is from basically from Korean architecture format. Some geometrical things, in Korean architecture they just use something not free line. They use some the circle, regular circle, and the square. So it's from old. The ideas from old one. Old.
let's say something, what does that say?
This
What does
one.
that say?
Yeah.
What does it say?
This images I combined. It's his
Those are
type.
your designs?
Yeah.
Those designs have some
Yeah.
meaning?
Yeah.
Those designs have some meaning? I'm trying to
No.
understand.
No. Just I use his type. And I design it.
They're not like characters that are going out to say an idea or express a specific.
Yeah.
Look to me like architectural plans of an old village. But the ones that you've made with his type are much more simple.
poster images is a kind of poster and images for introduce his type. He made that images on some books, for some books.
I'm having this problem with this collage. Yeah, I'm in great trouble, I would think. There's a whole series of decisions that it has to be made yet. What it's doing. For example, it's the white piece up there. We're reading the right to that.
Yeah,
That
right.
That's right. And now that would be linear perspective. This would be the old perspective. And yet, visually, you read this in the new perspective. You read all your dark pages, the other pages, and then you read all your lighter pages. So you intended it one way, it's being read another way. If you said to me that that's how I intended it to be read, but I look at this and read every other page first, and that would have been more than it's talking about in the visual order. So I don't know if that's a statement or just a line of decision. I mean, it's often important to have a clear moment before we start. The images are fascinating. I also all kinds of things bells and look at. I think the lack of clarity, lack of that theory, was being read. It's not that successful. I'm fascinated by the modern piece because it's like you took different timelines from last year and you tried to now program into separate tracks. And I think that's the most interesting piece. It's still, and it doesn't have this decision, but it is being read very differently. It's not being read like separate pages, it's not this environment. I don't know what the difference in perspective is, but I worry about seeing if it's more valuable now than thinking that it was gone, thinking the process is more valuable now, as was valuable then. There's no displacement. There are two or three, and to continue, I think that the easiest level of resolution of the is the unfortunately, the one that I wanted for casual was I know the interesting about please below it.